We're nearing the end of the 2018 cropping season here in northwestern Montana, and I wanted to take just a minute today and talk about or address a question that I get quite frequently during this time of year, and that's really a request to estimate yield. And I want to actually turn that question on its head just a little bit, and instead of talking about total yield on a per acre basis, I want to talk about the yield contribution on a per pod basis. And really it's quite easy for us to get at that number. We know some things about typical seed size on 1,000 kernel weight basis or seeds per pound kind of a basis. We know some things about plant population here, so it really becomes just a matter of doing some counts and some simple math. And when I do that, I'm counting about 21 to 24 seeds per pod. And given the plant population that I'm dealing with here, each pod contributes about 1.2 bushels on a per acre basis. So what that means is that each pod that forms, or more poignantly, each pod that we do not form, constitutes a 1.2 bushel loss in potential yield, and that's where this conversation becomes quite interesting, because canola is a very diagnostic crop when it comes to quantifying the impact of environmental stress, specifically during flowering. I can take this stem here and actually count the number of locations that we could have had a pod, but for whatever reason we do not. And on this particular stem, it's about 10. So suddenly the yield loss that we're attributing to environmental stress becomes quite quantifiable, begging the question of, are there some things that we can do to mitigate that stress? And for sure there are, and we're going to talk about some of those things over the next number of weeks and months.